Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Super Wrestling Federation's Saturday Night Power Slam. You see 6 of the biggest and brightest stars in all the SWF galaxy, and you might be wondering, what are they all doing in here? What is going on? Well, folks, I'm happy to tell you, this is the #1 contendership match to determine the next challenger for the SWF World Championship. That's right, the winner of this match will be the #1 contender to Rita and the SWF World Championship. After the success of the Fatal 4-Way won by Ed Trout, a match was created, the Survival 6 match, with the 6 biggest and brightest stars, where the winner will get a world title opportunity. Every man for themselves. You notice the Trout Busters in this match. Look at that! The double team. Tag teams turned against each other. Every man for himself. There can only be one. And it's lonely at the top of the mountain, folks. You've got to put friendships and family aside. Mongolian chops by Ed Trout. Right to the chest area of Brandon Trout. Those two love each other. They're best friends. They're a tag team. But there can only be one #1 contender. They're going to put that aside and put athleticism in the front. Athleticism, skill, passion, hunger, desire, you name it, courage. They're gonna, oh, look at that. See, right there they work together. But in the end, they're gonna have to break that bond because there could only be one. Brandon Trout with the dropkick to the back of Magnificent Mandy, who's now being dragged away by the Killer Wasp. Oh, the Tiger Suplex interrupted by Magnificent Mandy with a strong strike kick to the groin area. Vonstadt with the cross arm breaker on the Prowler. Oh, Ed Trout grabs the hair of Magnificent Mandy, pulls her down hard to the canvas. The submission hold being applied on Brandon Trout. The very dangerous predicament, but manages to escape. Back and forth contest between the Killer Wasp and Ed Trout. And if you look to the left, you'll see a back and forth contest between the Prowler and Brandon Trout. Magnificent Mandy, big tosser across the ring by Vonstadt. Brandon Trout with a kick to the face of the Prowler. This is elimination rules, folks. No countouts, no disqualifications. Eliminations occur by pinfall, submission, or critical knockout. We haven't seen any eliminations yet, but it's only a matter of time. Ed Trout drop kicked out of the ring by his grandson, Brandon Trout. On the forehead of Ed Trout being bitten into like an apple. The bloodshed all over the face of Ed Trout. All over his forehead, all over his chin, all over his chest, all over the mat. He's been lacerated, folks. Oh, the Prowler working on the shoulder and arm of Magnificent Mandy. Vonstadt looks like he wants a piece of the Prowler, but now he's turned his attention to the Killer Wasp. Elbow to the cranium. Look at that, Ed Trout laying the smackdown to Brandon Trout. Usually you would not see Brandon Trout and Ed Trout going against each other. The Trout Busters are normally a tag team, always on the same page, but right now they're setting all that aside because they want to beat the #1 contender. They want to challenge Rita for the SWF World Championship. Spinning powerbomb by Brandon Trout. Takes down Ed Trout. Goes for the pin here. Only a 1 count. The match continues. Beautiful right strike there by Vonstadt. Beautiful gut punch by the Prowler. Now Ed Trout spinning backbreaker applied to him, I believe by Magnificent Mandy, who just got hit by a kangaroo kick. Vonstadt got hit by a headbutt. Falling fist drop there by Ed Trout. Look at this. Mandible claw. Mandible claw being applied by the Prowler onto Ed Trout. Magnificent Mandy, the recipient of a 2 count, still in the match. It only takes 3 seconds to be pinned, folks. You have to have great in-ring awareness. You have to know where you are at all times. You have to know where your opponents are at all times. You need eyes in the front of your head, the back of your head, the sides of your head. Any direction you can have them, you need them. Especially with the odds like this. You have a 1/6 chance of winning. Oh, Brandon Trout with the roll-up. With the double stop to follow. He does it to the Prowler, then does it to the Killer Wasp. Now he has him in a submission hold. Vonstadt going to pin on Magnificent Mandy. Only gets a 2 count. The Prowler, oh, eats an Ice Mountain Driver. Pinfall applied here. Anaconda Vice also being applied at the same time. The Killer Wasp gets out of the submission hold, but now he's in the clutches of Magnificent Mandy. The Prowler eats 2 elbows courtesy of Vonstadt. Frog splash. My goodness. So much pandemonium, a 2.9 count. Wait a minute, Vonstadt. He's got him with that spinning tornado blazing. Brainbuster drops the Prowler on his head. Ed Trout spears Brandon Trout, shoulder to the gut. Headbutt by Brandon Trout. That's why they call him the Woodpecker. Ironically, it was Ed Trout that gave him the nickname when he was just a young boy. Wait a second. Brandon Trout has Ed Trout in a submission hold. Oh my gosh. The rope break saves him from damnation. Oh, kangaroo kick there by Trout to the other Trout. And kick to the face now. Let's turn our attention to the other side of the ring. Cutter there by Magnificent Mandy takes down the Prowler. Kick to the face of Ed Trout by Brandon Trout. Back and forth contest between Vonstadt and the Killer Wasp. Middle fingers to the face. Spinning discus clothesline. Drop. No. Kick to the side of the head. Killer Wasp. Oh, Brandon Trout eats a Trout. Oh my gosh. An Ice Mountain driver by Ed Trout. 2.9. The grandfather could not put down the grandson. Going for the pin now. Interrupted there. Everybody is taking each other to their limits. Beautiful knee to the side of the head. Killer Wasp with a snap suplex. Magnificent Mandy stomping on the face of Brandon Trout. Turns her attention to Ed Trout. Now back to Brandon Trout. She's being Irish whipped. Elbow to the head by Vonstadt to the head of Brandon Trout. I thought Ed Trout was going to be eliminated by the Prowler there, but he survives for just another moment. Vonstadt takes down Brandon Trout, takes down Magnificent Mandy. Beautiful super kick. Ice Mountain driver to the Killer Wasp. Oh no, the life force of Ed Trout being choked away. Was Ed Trout? No, I thought maybe he submitted, but it was a rope break. Oh, tossed across the ring. Look at how badly all 6 of these competitors want to be the #1 contender to Rita and the SWF World Championship. They want to be the biggest and the brightest star. They want to be the #1 contender. They want to be the SWF World Champion because that is the top tier. That is top notch. That is the biggest and brightest star in the sky. And if you don't want to be the World Champion, you don't deserve to be in the Super Wrestling Federation. Shooting star press by Brandon Trout. 2.9 almost eliminates Magnificent Mandy. Oh, spinning, sit down, power bomb, Ice Mountain driver. The Prowler has been eliminated by Brandon Trout. The first elimination. The second elimination. Killer Wasp was submitted by Vonstadt. Now it's down to 4. Choke slam by Vonstadt. Look at, oh, Brandon Trout with the roll up, following with the double stomp to the stomach. Kick to the side of the head. Takes down the Barbaric bastard. Oh, spear by Ed Trout takes down Vonstadt. Brandon Trout now has Magnificent Mandy in a power bomb position. Sit down power bomb. Magnificent Mandy has been eliminated by Brandon Trout. Brandon Trout now with 2 eliminations. Oh, the reverse go to sleep. Oh no. Oh no! Oh no! Choke slam! Down goes Brandon Trout. Oh! But look at that! Ed Trout punches Vonstadt on the back of the head. Now focuses on his grandson. Throws him into Vonstadt. For what reason, I'm not sure. Oh! Spear to Brandon Trout by Ed Trout. Brandon Trout has been eliminated by his grandfather. It's down to Ed Trout and Vonstadt. One of these 2 men will be the #1 contender to Bad Luck Rita and the SWF World Championship. Who will win the Survival 6? Oh my goodness. Ed Trout coming very late into the wrestling game. This is usually a young man's sport, but here he is. He wants it. He needs it. He said he's always wanted to be a world champion for professional wrestling. He knows that he's only getting older. He knows his time is running out. This might be his chance. Hits him with the Ice Mountain driver, but he's too exhausted to go for the pin. They're both back to their feet now. Vonstadt wants the title back. And Ed Trout wants it for the first time. Oh no. Choke slam by Vonstadt. Center of the ring. Vonstadt's throwing a fit. But he's not going for the pin yet. You can see the gears moving in his head. What's he waiting for? Oh, goes for the lariat. Back and forth contest between Ed Trout and Vonstadt. And Trout wants the title for the first time. Vonstadt wants it for the second time. Spinning lariat. My good God in heaven. Oh no. Oh, the hangman neckbreaker. That could injure your opponent. And Trout is lacerating all over the ring. Oh my goodness. Vonstadt picks up Ed Trout. What's he gonna do with him? Wait a second. Oh, Frankensteiner! Wait a second here. Oh my goodness! The strength of Ed Trout! Oh my goodness, but he eats a right fist. Double stomp to the back. Vonstadt running off the ropes and another double stomp. Oh, wait a second. It's time for the jackhammer. The finishing maneuver of Vonstadt. He might do it. He does it. Vonstadt pins Ed Trout. Vonstadt is the #1 contender to Rita Rotten and the SWF World Champion. The winner of the first ever Survival 6 match is the barbaric bastard Vonstadt, and he's coming for Rita Rotten.